Hi guys, Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is about how to tighten the front axle on a KTM Husqvarna or late model GasGas. I made a video on this several years ago, probably 10 years ago, and I got inspired to do an update on it because I saw an article written recently by a factory mechanic, and there's one little step in his method that was incorrect, and I'm going to explain why here in a minute. All right, so I've trained lots of mechanics over the years. I had, a bunch of mechanics that worked for me over the years, and also I've trained factory mechanics. That was part of my job many years ago. So, when I worked with those guys, I always tried to explain not just how to put something together, but why it goes together that way. And you have to look at the design of it and figure out why the designer, the mechanical engineer, why he built it the way he did. And then that makes you or helps you understand why to put it together correctly or how to put it together correctly. It's the same way with engines. You have to really know how an engine works before you can know how to modify one. Otherwise, you're just a trained monkey that's bolting on parts. So, all right, so let's first talk about this. So this nut is like one of the main things that we do here when we're assembling this front end. It's actually a bolt. And the purpose of that bolt is to pull the axle this direction towards the brake side of the bike. And the reason you want to do it that way is because of the way the axle is designed. So let me show you one I've got down here. All right, so this is just a stock KTM front wheel assembly. And there's the bolt I was just talking about. And you can see that there's two sizes to this axle. There's the big size here, and then a smaller diameter in there that goes through the spacers and the bearings. Well, that big size fits in the axle lug. It actually fits on the other side, and the axle lug, or not axle lug, fork lug, or fork dropout is what most guys call them, and that's this lower piece here of the fork leg. And so you gotta pull. So this is designed to pull everything over to one side to align the tire properly on the fork, the front wheel assembly. You want to have that, centered. And that's why they've got that step in there to pull everything over. And in order to pull it over, you use that nut, or that bolt, excuse me. And then I want to show you something here. So guys, we get calls or emails quite frequently, guys concerned about this space down here. You see that space right there? They think that they don't have the axle tight and that they need to do something else to get that pulled over. Well, as I just showed you, when that's pulled all the way over, there's still going to be a reveal here. There's still going to be a few millimeters showing. It's just the way it is because of the design. It's pulling everything over to the left side of the bike. All right, so what the mistake that the guy made in the article that I saw was he put a wrench over here. He had all the pinch bolts loose, put a wrench here and a wrench over here to tighten this nut, or this bolt, excuse me. Well, the problem with that is this is just a cap. It's not threaded into the axle. Here's one right here on this titanium axle. That black cap, I just pushed it in there a few minutes ago. Well, actually I used a soft mallet and drove it in there, but it's not threaded in. Neither is this one. So if you're using a wrench on the opposite side to tighten, this thing is going to rotate inside the axle. So, you're not going to get it tight like you should. I mean, you might, but it's definitely not the best way to do it. So the best way is to tighten, you can just tighten one of these pinch bolts to hold the axle to keep it from rotating, while you tighten this bolt. These should be loose. And just tighten one of those just to retain the axle in its position so that you can tighten this or torque it for you torqueaholics. I don't torque these. It's not a bad idea to torque them, I just don't. You know, I take wheels on and off all the time, and if I can't feel the correct tightness for that, then I need to find a new job. But anyhow, guys, so just to review here a little bit, tighten the one bolt on the other side, tighten this. Then, when you get over here, you want to loosen this back up, and you can just kind of put your thumb right here and your finger over here, and you can jiggle this back and forth like that. And it should find its center, and when it's correct, this aluminum cap here is going to be exposed. I see them all the time where this is pushed in like that, and I can see part of the axle. That tells me that the fork leg has been pulled in and it's not aligned properly. I see them the other way to where, you know, the axle, that cap on the axle is sunk in a little bit. That's, you know, I can just eyeball a fork real quick and tell you if your front end's together correctly. Also, quite often, guys don't seem to get the axle pulled over that way all the way. I mean, I'll guys stop by the shop and they got their bike in the back, and I don't know, just out of habit, I grab the wheel here and clunk, clunk, clunk. They've got some play in there. They didn't get the axle tight. It feels like the wheel bearings are out, but they're not. So that's really all there is to it, guys. Make sure that you tighten that bolt over there, and then tighten this, free up that bolt, and get the alignment correct over here. Yeah, there's other methods. You can take the bike off the stand and push it up and down on the forks. You can rotate the wheel and slam on the brake. But bottom line is, you really don't need to do any of those things. If this cap is exposed, you can see these caps are, you know, that's pretty thin right there. If that's exposed, just like you see here, then it's correct. The last step is to tighten these pinch bolts on both sides. I would recommend that you use a torque wrench for those, because I see these over tightened all the time, and they don't have to be extremely tight to hold the axle in position. There's a lot of clamping force there. So definitely, if you don't have a good feel, use a torque wrench for that. I don't have that spec. It's in your owner's manual. And then if you would, guys, please like us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a shout out once in a while. Throw us a bone. We'd like to have your business. I'll hope to see you out on the trail this summer, getting out for some throttle therapy. That's all for now. Ciao.